Your first card, Virgo, is the Hermit reversed. Okay. I have the Five of Cups. And I have a King of Cups reversed. Cups are water. I have the Wheel of the Year. This is also considered the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot deck, in the traditional Rider-Waite. I think it's interesting. Now, what you're seeing here, what I think is interesting, is you seem to have swords for spring, wands for summer, and then we have pentacles for fall. We have the cups for fall and pentacles for winter. Somewhere winter is in here. We're talking about seasons. I think this is a nice illustration here because I think this is a wonderful illustration because it shows that life, the cycle of life is like the seasons. Things grow, things die, and then they grow again. And that's the same thing with this wheel. Now this wheel seems to be reversed. So maybe things aren't changing. Maybe you're stuck in a cycle here. That was my first impression. But what I am seeing here is when this Wheel of the Year is reversed, it's also not just about changes not happening, but it also means that maybe whatever it is you're going through, especially with these cups in the Hermit in reverse, this King of Cups reversed, that this seems to be something you're stuck in, that there are changes that you can make to move forward, but you haven't, the situation, either you're not deciding to make a change or someone else isn't. It can also mean that instead of changing and growing, that there's a situation where the same mistakes and the same things keep getting repeated over and over and over again. Nothing's evolving. Nothing is growing or changing or maturing. Okay? And sometimes you have to let things go in order to resolve a situation. Sometimes there's nothing we can do. Sometimes we want to stay in that situation and see if we can work it out. But sometimes it's better to let go and let the natural cycles of life or the seasons happen instead of trying to stop them from changing. That's another interpretation that I'm seeing here. But this is a very interesting interpretation because usually pentacles, usually the swords are associated with winter. The wands are usually associated with spring, cups with summer, pentacles with fall. So I think this is interesting, the way they're presenting these four elements here. Okay. So, yes, this was reversed. And it's a major arcana card, along with this Hermit in reverse. I have a Six of Cups reverse. This is the cup of childhood memories and happiness. It can also mean, when it's upright, missing someone, having fond memories, or someone from the past who is dominating your thoughts, or someone from the past that you're distanced from. So when this is in reverse, there are many interpretations. It could mean that the memories are cut off, that there's a disconnect with the past, okay? Or a disconnect with someone from the past. Cups seem to be very relevant for you, Virgo. I have a Knight of Swords in reverse, okay? Knights are about action. I've seen all of the knights in the readings except for this Knight of Swords, so now he's making an appearance. And when you have a Knight of Swords that's in reverse, you could be looking at someone who has the characteristics of a player. If you're dating a guy who's a Knight of Swords, you're dealing with an air sign who could be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, and this person can be very charismatic. I will say that about Libra men, who has a way with words and very manipulative. Okay. I have a King of Pentacles, 2 kings and a knight, and okay, I have Death in reverse. Amazing card. I'm just looking at this illustration. It is just so bold. Okay. So this is in reverse. When Death is in reverse, obviously there's an ending. Death usually means complete closure or an ending. But when it's reversed, it can mean lack of changing, sleeping, lethargy. Not literal sleeping, but it can mean that there's a situation that just it doesn't die off, although it should die. It should come to an end, but it doesn't. So it just goes into this perpetual limbo or purgatory, if you will. And so this seems to correspond with this other major arcana card, the Wheel of the Year, in reverse as well. And I think there's also a strong relationship to this Hermit. I'm going to look at your major arcana in a second. And then your last card for this is the Three of Wands in reverse. And as you can see, this is about starting new adventures, making new plans. And so when this is in reverse, it also seems to be that the future, there's a stalling. There's no making plans. There's no moving forward. There's no bold change or adventure here. And so this seems to be a theme with Death in reverse, the Wheel of the Year, or the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and with the Hermit in reverse. So I will pull the outcome card after the main reading, of course, as I've always done. But yeah, your major arcana are pretty interesting. But they all seem to be giving me the same message, especially with this Wheel and Death in reverse. It means that this situation has not been changing the way it should, and maybe it should come to a close, but it's difficult to let go. Going to this Hermit, the Hermit is actually not just a card about being alone. The Hermit is someone who's wise. It's almost as if he's a monk. If I could retitle this card, I would call this card the Monk. Because monks, they take time alone to meditate, to gain wisdom. And when it is in reverse, it could mean that there's no wisdom. Maybe there's a lot of fear and distrust, that you're building up walls instead of breaking down those walls and trying to find understanding. And maybe that's why, and I'm not saying this is you, but it could definitely be someone who has this attitude that they're not going to grow or change. They want to stay the same person that they've always been. That's something that just came to me while I'm looking at the Hermit. And that's why these other issues just keep repeating themselves. And things never seem to move forward, as indicated with this Three of Wands. Okay. So the major arcana is telling me a lot about what's going on with a particular person. That maybe you're waiting for someone to grow and change, and they haven't. And when I look at the Six of Cups in the middle, it also seems to be about something in the past that needs to be repaired, which is why I think the Six of Cups is in reverse. Maybe there are a lot of bad memories that you're holding on to, or someone else is holding on to, or that have not been healed, that are still affecting things growing and changing. So that's what I'm picking up from the major arcana and the card in the center. And it also seems as if pentacles are very important for you as well. You have a King of Pentacles here. This Wheel of the Year has a pentacle in the center. Okay. And keep in mind, pentacles are your energy, Virgo. They represent Earth. So when I get to this King of Pentacles here, I see that as your energy, your change. You're someone who is you're very giving and very generous. This King rules. When the kings bring energy of mastery, when I say mastery, it means that they are the experts. They are the wise ones. The kings are the person who are able to carry out actions and keep the situation under control in the people that they rule. It has a lot to do with being a leader. And the King of Pentacles, the relationship the kings have is that they deal with the outward display. Queens deal with the inward, the emotions, the feelings. So when I look at this King of Pentacles, I'm seeing your energy coming back in a very positive way here. Okay. So as far as Pentacles, I think Virgo, maybe there's a situation that happened in the past that you've been trying to get a handle on for quite a while. And so this first row tells me a lot, that with this Hermit in reverse, it can mean a lot of defensiveness, a lot of fear, staying behind this wall, isolation. This Five of Cups is about dealing with loss. You're focused on maybe these 3 cups that you've lost, but not the 2 cups that are still standing. This corresponds a little bit with the Six of Cups, because you only lose 3 cups here, but it seems like now you have more cups that are being lost. Okay. And Five of Cups is usually, the number 5 is about conflict as well. That you're at a crossroads here. The potential for change and taking a new direction is there, but maybe you or someone else is not taking that new direction. So maybe this King of Cups here, that maybe you are also emotionally attached to this person, this King of Cups in reverse. You are definitely dealing with someone who is maybe a little manipulative and dishonest. They don't have control over their emotions. When a king is reversed, we're looking at someone who's using their power unfairly, the power of emotions. And so part of it is maybe you're dealing with someone who's emotionally manipulative. Maybe someone who's not emotionally available. That's one interpretation. So based on this first row, I think this King of Cups is the one that there's a loss here. Some of the cups are lost, some of the cups are still standing, but this King of Cups makes things very difficult for you. And I think that in a way, what's going on with the Five of Cups and this King of Cups in reverse has almost made you isolated, Virgo, that you're not you're allowing this to keep you away from change. That you're emotionally so wrapped up in the drama of this King of Cups that you are not seeking other answers or other alternatives. Of course, this could apply to someone else. It could actually apply to this King of Cups. But I'm really feeling that this has a lot to do with you, that maybe you have felt a huge disconnect here. Okay? So, when we get to this present moment, things from the past are still having a negative effect. And now, in addition to this king, we're dealing with a Knight of Swords, where we could be dealing with not just emotional manipulation, but someone who is actively, because Knights are about action, maybe this Knight of Swords is bringing a lot of negative communication into your life. So you have all these reversals here with the Six of Cups and the Wheel of the Year in reverse, stuck in the past. And a lot of it might have to also do with this Knight of Swords, which could be the same person as this King of Cups who's brought a lot of emotional or mental pain to you. The Knight of Swords can also mean someone who's very paranoid and mistrustful. Okay. So, lack of change, that's the message that the tarot is giving me. When we head into this last row, once again, as I've explained, this seems to have a lot to do with this limbo that you will find yourself in the future. And maybe this has a lot to do with this other person not changing. Another person who cannot resolve an issue from the past so that you can both move forward. So when we go from your King of Pentacles, your energy, trying to work things out, trying to keep things moving smoothly. Death, we're in limbo. Things are not coming to a close. But at the same time, with this Three of Wands in reverse, the wands are fire, they're inspiration, there are new ideas and thoughts and creativity. But it can also just mean moving forward. This Three of Wands is in reverse. So the common theme from all the cards, from what I'm seeing here, is a lack of movement, lack of change, going through the same thing over and over again. But there's no learning from it, which I think is why the Hermit is in reverse. The Hermit is also about learning from experiences and growing from them. And there's someone in your life who may not be really learning and growing in this relationship. Okay, so let me pull your outcome card. Okay, I'm going to cut the cards. I have a Five of Wands. This is going to be about struggle. And I think someone else got the Five of Wands as an outcome as well. I can't remember the sign. So when I see this, I keep thinking that there are two signs. For those of you who are looking at these videos for someone else, it seems like there could be a struggle that you and another person will be heading to. We're not talking about a full-on fight or a big conflict. What you're seeing here are just people, it's almost as if there's playing. You see all the people on their dragons fighting each other. They're not trying to do any serious harm, but still it seems like there's a conflict and everyone wants to win and get their way. Okay? I'm really loving these illustrations, by the way. So there's still going to be a bit of a struggle in this situation, Virgo. And I think what you have to decide, instead of waiting on this person or nurturing and trying to help this person, because some people, it's better to just leave them alone and figure it out on their own. I'm getting a sense that a lot of your resources here, you're trying to help this person be patient and you're trying to be generous because you really want a situation to work out. But maybe this person is just beyond, maybe it requires you taking a step back. Maybe there's really nothing you can do. And so the message from the tarot for you, Virgo, is, because if you're an earth sign like a Taurus or Capricorn, chances are, Virgo, you're the type of energy that wants to keep things under control. But you're also martyrs, okay? You are the ones who do sacrifice a lot. And sometimes the sacrifice just isn't worth it, as indicated by this Five of Cups that's showing up here. But that, until you go through this struggle, you will not really understand what's going on here. And I think there's still going to be a bit of a struggle. I don't think it's going to be necessarily a fatal struggle, but the fact that this Death card is showing up in reverse is saying that, you're trying to get things to change, to move forward. Sometimes out of struggle comes change. So this struggle might actually be a good thing for you to shake things up. Okay? But you may not necessarily get what you want. Sometimes change is good. But sometimes the changes, we might not like those changes. But sometimes we have to go with those changes in order to move forward to something better. So just keep that in mind for this month as you celebrate your birthday, Virgo. So as always, thanks to everybody for your donations, your comments, your encouragement. I appreciate it. If you're interested in getting a reading, look at my other videos. I do have a new video up where you can find out how to sign up for a reading. I do hope to talk to you soon. I hope you've enjoyed your summer, Virgo. And I hope to talk to you soon. Happy birthday again. And I wish you love and light.